And we're rolling.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dylan.
Hey, morning, Lee. How's it going?
What's going on?
Good to see you.
Yeah, nice seeing you.
Yep.
Wow, no beard.
That's right, yeah.
Is this the first time on the podcast with no beard?
Yep, this is the debut of the shaven face.
You look like a baby, man. You look very young. I was shocked, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I wanted to get some headshots for acting
yeah.
portfolio and start building that.
Wow,
so.
you could be anything, man. You could go from being anything to anything. Shocking. How long has it been since you saw your face?
Oh, it's been almost a decade, like 8 years almost, roughly. Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah, pretty funny. Haven't seen my face in a while.
Did you look different than you remembered?
A little bit, yeah. I think I'm slightly more like pudgier in certain areas, but
yes. Oh, hey, the big kitty's here today. Naturally, he's sitting on my thing. I'm gonna add some of the people said little comments. Not that many, but the few of the people's comments. I want to address their comments.
Okay, yeah.
Come on, move out of my way for a second, okay? Let me see my list here. Oh, somebody asked me about Atlanta and about Jimi Hendrix asking to switch with me spots and me coming on after he played with a top hat. Well, number one, Jimi Hendrix wouldn't have to ask me to switch. They would just tell me, you're going on this or that or whatever. So that didn't happen. And I never wore a top hat on stage or in real life ever. I just am not a top hat guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not my thing. So you must have been high on acid. Whoever told you that story, you must have been high, and you don't quite have your memory in order there. But no, Jimmy didn't. I had no contact with Jimmy at Atlanta, even though I played there at this. Yeah. Sometimes, man, those big festivals weren't like Kumbala, it's like they're just insane. Anyway, I understand they're more casual now, and the whole scene's more casual. Back then, it was pure fucking insanity. There was no hospitality area. It was like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough of that old bullshit. Wait a second. Galaxy Rover, your comments, thank you. They were interesting. I'm so high I don't remember what they were. I'm actually not high. This is I didn't get high today before the podcast.
Oh wow, yeah. Me neither.
Oh, and the stuff I don't remember Jack Cassidy at the Jimi Hendrix sessions that I was at. He might have been there. I was high. I don't know. But I know the TT&G sessions, he wasn't there. I don't ever remember playing with Jack at any sessions. So,
okay.
So that was probably somebody else playing organ, not me.
Yeah.
And one thing, it was really interesting, the comments that we got about Noel Redding and Hendrix. I learned stuff that I didn't know, because I don't read shit about classic rock. So,
right.
So anyway, it was very interesting, some of that stuff, reading about Noel and the things they went on to do. And I didn't realize that Mitch got back together with Jimmy for a brief period of time. And
wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really interesting stuff. Thank you for sharing that with us. And and one other thing I want to say before we stop with Hendrix stuff. Noel Redding never said anything bad about Jimmy, not one bad word to me. He may have said something to somebody else, I don't know. But in my presence, and I was around him after that breakup of the band, he never said anything bad. The whole time we did sessions in New York, nothing bad. So
well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
That's pretty cool.
Like that. Noel was a nice guy, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I already told my Hendrix stories. If you want to hear them, go back to my thing. Let me move the cat for a second. Let me look here.
We can leave a link at the end of the video to the Hendrix stories. We'll put an end card.
Oh, I never knew. Somebody asked me if I knew about Billy Joel was an organ playing duo. I never knew it back in the day, but years later, I somewhere I saw that, or somewhere I heard that, or in an interview. I don't know. Somewhere I heard he was an organ drum duo before he became the Piano Man guy that worked so well for him.
Yeah.
But I really don't know any of the details. I don't know any of the details. So, and I was never aware back in the day that he did an organ thing. This is before he did his Billy Joel thing.
Were you ever a fan of his, listening to him over the years, or not your cup of tea?
I wasn't grossed out by him, you know what I mean? Like, I liked the way I liked his songs. He's a good songwriter. Wow.
Yeah.
everybody has albums they put on and listen to that they like and they listen to. And
Right.
Billy Joel wasn't an album that I listened to that
Right.
much.
Gotcha.
But I didn't have any aversion to his music, or I wasn't.
Yeah, I see.
I had no negative opinion of him. I thought he was a good songwriter.
Yeah.
He
Pretty
wrote
cool.
these classic songs, and they felt so New York. His songs really felt New York.
Right.
I really felt connected. I thought that was so cool. Yeah. But once again, you know how music is. There's some albums you listen to, and some you
Right.
don't. But you still can like the person even if you don't
Yeah,
listen to
exactly.
their album.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Anyway,
agree.
that's how I was with him, I guess. Anyway, let me see what else we got here. Somebody asked me about Brian Jones, if I ever had any interaction with Brian Jones. Not personally, but I do have a Brian Jones story.
Oh, great.
When I was a little kid organ player in that band on Santa Monica Boulevard in Hollywood before I did my own thing.
Yeah.
So I was a little organ player kid in the band, and those guys were in some of the Stones were in the club one night. Everybody was in this club every night. It was insane. So anyway, after there was this really beautiful girl. They had two go-go girls dancing, two girls dancing, and
Nice.
this one girl was really beautiful. And she, so afterwards in the parking lot next to the club, when it closed, he ran up behind this girl and grabbed her inappropriately. And she turned around and clocked him so hard with her purse, she almost knocked him out. He fell
Wow.
flat on his back on the ground. Anyway, she cold cocked his ass for grabbing her inappropriately.
Yeah, good for her.
She was a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
She was a beautiful girl.
Wow.
Yeah. And she was a friend of mine. Yeah, her and I were good friends. And she was very nice. And she clocked him with her purse. I thought that was so cool. Man.
That's
Here I am, little kid organ player.
Yeah.
And this shit's going down. I'm watching it every night, some different movie in this club, man. It was a fucking amazing gig. It lasted for a year and a half.
Wow, that's
6
awesome.
nights a week in Hollywood in that golden era.
Yeah.
Mamas and papas were in there every night. People were up on stage jamming with us singing, and I was just back there playing the organ going, fuck, I died and gone to heaven. You know
That
what I
is
mean?
so amazing. Yeah.
Fuck.
Fantastic.
I still look back on that. That's my favorite. Yeah, that was one of my favorite things in my whole life was being in that band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and you want to hear the story of the band? So we had a meeting,
Yeah.
the people wanted our band to play other places other than this little club on Santa Monica Boulevard. But the guy who ran the band, Joel Scott Hill, he just liked playing there because he got a bunch of money every week. And he didn't want to go play somewhere else because then the gig would be over. But this gig was going on for a year and a half, so he wasn't ready to leave it. So, but we wanted to go and be famous and shit, It was like that era, We
Right.
we wanted our time,
Yeah.
And so we had a meeting. This is a great story. And we were really young, I had fake ID and everything. And so we had a meeting, and we're trying to figure out what was wrong with this guy, why he wouldn't do this, go and do these gigs. Like they wanted us to play at the Whiskey, and we go, yeah, we'll play here. It'll lead to other things. Let's go do it. He didn't want to do it. And I really had nothing to say about it because I was just a little organ player.
I see. Yeah.
But we finally came to a conclusion of what was wrong. You know what was wrong?
What happened?
He was too old. We decided he was too old to play rock and roll.
Oh, wow.
And you know how old he was at the time? He was 27.
27.
He was 27, and we thought the problem was he was too old. You know what I mean?
Old geezer.
I remember sitting with Johnny Barbada, and we were hanging out, and we were trying to figure out, what is wrong with this guy? We go, he's just too old, 'cause he was 27. How's that for putting it in perspective,
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
how young we were, man. I was there playing with fake ID, thinking somebody that was 27 was like a fucking adult. You know what I mean? Like I was looking at it going, "Fuck," Anyway, that was fun, man. That's a good story. There you go, man. Every day that we got a good story here.
That's
Kitty,
great. I
every
like
time
that.
I move my tablet, you fucking move.
What
Wait
was
a
that
second.
band called? Was there a name? of
The
that
Joel
band?
Scott Hill Band.
Joel Scott Hill Band. Okay.
Joel
cool.
Scott Hill Trio, I think he called it, or whatever the fuck he called it.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
Orange is poised.
Oh! A guy named Galaxy Rover said he said, "Sorry, Lee, but he remembered that I was, he goes, sorry, Lee, but he couldn't have been any worse guitar player than I was. That's what he said in the comments. And he says, and he remembers the time I got booed off the stage.
No way.
And I think he was talking about a show at Winterland. I'll explain that whole show. It was so amazing.
I got to hear about this.
I'm not going to tell that story right now. Okay. How long have we been podcasting?
Oh, 10 minutes in.
Okay, yep. Maybe I can tell it. Let me see what else I got. Sorry. Anyway, you got to understand, I wanted to be a guitar player. So here I am, I'm an organ player, right?
Right.
And I'm headlining, and I'm like, I should stay and play my organ, but no. I'm seeing the guitar players are having all the fun, man. Like the guitar players, it's like they have lightsabers or like they got some kind of starship machine.
Yeah.
They go,
that's right.
Don't get afraid. Don't bite me. I don't want to be bit. Anyway, you know what I mean? I would look at the guitar players back in the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all feeding back their guitars and they're having so much fun. And they're like, and I'm sitting here playing the organ, which is like driving a tractor. Like an organ had no touch sensitive, no nothing, just like a tractor. You got a foot pedal. If you want to have some feeling out of the organ, you got to use a foot pedal. That's how lame it was. And so I was like suddenly pissed at the organ. It only made one kind of sound and it didn't feed back. It didn't do none of that great shit. Yeah. And I wasn't just when I was going, wait a minute. I want to do that great shit, right? So I decided I'm going to be a guitar player, boy.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know how to tune the guitar. What's the first thing you learn when you learn how to play guitar? You learn how to tune it, right?
Yep. You learn the tuning of the
strings.
I
never learned how to tune it.
Wow.
So I figure I had roadies; they'll tune it for me. I just hand it to me and let me pound on it. And I want to do that. You know, I want to be a guitar player because they're having all the fun.
Right.
It was really about fun. I wanted to have all that fun, you know, and they're running all around the stage. I'm sitting there on my organ. They're running around. You know, they're just having fucking fun. And I'm thinking, why can't I have fun? and so, but I'll tell you why, because I was the world's worst guitar player. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I've been playing now for 50 some years, right? Yeah. I'm still one of the world's worst guitar players. But the one thing I have going for me is I'm very rhythmic. So in spite of me being so bad, I can just sort of pound on it and
that's right.
pound on it good enough to sing with it, you know what I mean? Yep. But boy, I'm not a good guitar player at all. I don't know any chords. You could tell me to play a chord, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Wow.
Because I just grabbed it and started playing. So that gig in San Francisco, it was at Winterland, I remember it. There's a bunch of irony hooked to this gig. But anyway, to make the gig a long story short, the roadie handed me the guitar and I strum it and it felt a little weird, but we started the song and then I realized, man, this is fucked up. Something's fucked up with this guitar.
Shit.
So I looked down at the guitar and the strings are this far off the frets.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit. And the roadie had tuned this guitar up so far that the whole guitar was bowed up and the strings were raised way up. So I couldn't even press the strings down to the frets. They were like this far.
The action.
The whole neck was bowed.
Holy
and I'm looking down at it and I'm looking over at everybody and go, wait a minute, stop, you know. And I'm sure from the audience, and by this time people are booing and shit, and I'm sure from the audience it looked like I was booed off the stage, you know what I mean? But the trip is, I went, fuck, we got to do something. I go, and so I ran over the roadies. I go, the fucking guitar, look at this thing, fuck. And they go, okay, I go find one of the other bands and ask them to tune it. So then they ran, I forget who the other band was, and the roadies ran. I ran off the stage, like it appeared that I was booed off, which maybe I was, I don't know. But I was running off the stage to get the guitar fixed.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. So
I ran off the stage, I got the guitar fixed. I forget who they took it to. They took one of the other bands and the guitar player, what the fuck? And they tuned it, you know, like they tuned it like an octave too high or something.
Oh, wow. Holy
you know what I mean?
shit.
They didn't know what they were doing either because my roadies weren't guitar roadies. I mean, none of us knew guitar. What are we doing this? You know?
That's all
and
right.
so I was so lame, you know. So here I am. I think I can go out and play as a headliner on guitar and I don't even know how to tune it. I don't know any chords. I go, just give it to me. I'll play this fucking thing. And that was my attitude. I don't care. Fuck it. I don't care. I'll just play it, you know?
That's great.
And so anyway, so then they tuned the guitar and we went back on stage and played one of the worst sets, you know, in humanity, you know, like it was really funny bad.
Did the guitar sound a lot better though?
Once it was tuned, at least we were playing in the same chord, the bass player, and we were all playing the same chords.
That's good.
And I did have songs of sorts. They were terrible songs, but anyway, it got better once the guitar was tuned, but there was a big interruption there. It was like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Because first we had to figure out what was wrong. Then we had to realize, get somebody else to tune it. Then somebody else tuned it.
Yeah.
But you know what I've done because I still can't tune it. But now they have those electronic tuners.
Oh, yeah, those come in handy. Yeah.
But even with that, I'm a little fucked up. But what I have now is I have a carbon fiber guitar.
Okay.
And the carbon fiber guitar, you know how regular guitars, if it gets hot or cold, they change the tuning, so you got to adjust them and everything.
Right.
This thing, it doesn't matter if it's cold or hot or whatever, freezing, you name it. It comes out of the box. It's always in tune.
Wow.
So it never changes because it's
awesome.
carbon fiber. So I love it. Anyway, I have this guitar. I really love it.
Fantastic.
And I don't play every second, so it hurts my fingers if I play a steel. So I have nylon string. A guitar I believe it's called a Rain Song. Anyway, I love this guitar, and I play it.
That's right.
I play it. It's like a 3/4 size guitar, but it's so cool. I love it. Wow. But I'm really the worst, and I still don't know the names of the chords or anything. I can kind of go.
Well, you know some bar chords, right? I saw the barefooting video. You were jamming. You were playing some chords,
I was just faking it. That's what's so funny. I really don't know that shit.
It looked like you were very capable on the neck. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
It certainly had that image.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I got rhythm. I can count to 4. Yeah. That's always been my saving grace. I can count to 4.
Yeah.
And fake it. I thought, what a life. If I could just fake it through life by counting to 4. Here I am, still counting to 4.
What guitar was that again that you used back then? The one with the flies on it?
Oh, that was a guitar we bought. We got a Guild guitar.
Oh, that's right.
Guild. And it looked like an SG. It was a Guild copy of an SG.
I see, yeah.
And then we laminated a stake. I didn't personally do it, but we laminated a stake on the body of the guitar.
That's great.
And then this girl hand painted all these flies.
Wow.
And we glued all the flies all over the guitar, and then I could bite the flies off the guitar and spit them at the audience.
Oh, wow, that's great, man.
It was like, I was so
awesome.
into it. I just so wanted to be a guitar player. I thought, I could be a guitar player. I could fucking have my guitar look like a piece of meat. I could bite the flies off and spit them at the audience. And I had this whole image of how I was going to be as this amazing guitar player. The only problem with the whole picture was I wasn't an amazing guitar player. It was a great concept, poorly executed by me. But anyway.
That's great, man.
I pretended to be a guitar player. Oh, I might add, I have seen in my life a couple of guitar players I thought were worse than me. Not because they didn't know how to tune or because they didn't know the chords, but because they couldn't count to 4.
Oh, okay.
Like I'll take a crummy guy that can count to 4 any day over a guy who's a virtuoso who can't count to 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't have good meter, get out of my life. I can't take it.
Yeah.
Because that's my background. I come from that count to 4.
Yep, that makes sense.
Plus Johnny Barbada, he used to yell. He was so funny, man. We played at the gig. He'd be yelling, meter, meter. He's yelling. If anybody slows down or speeds up, he'd start screaming, meter.
Oh, wow. That's great.
So my whole life, I was hearing, when I was younger, Johnny Barbada, meter, meter, meter. And I go, fuck, I can count to 4. Fuck you.
That's great.
Anyway, that's how funny being a kid.
That is fantastic. That's really creative. I like the idea of the meat guitar and the flies.
Meat guitar is great,
that's
man.
Cool, man.
It looked like a slab of steak.
Yeah.
It was all red. And the little flies were all iridescent. She painted them so good, this girl. It was tedious. She had to paint a zillion flies. And their little feet, they glued the little feet on the guitar, so they're all standing there on their little feet with their little iridescent wings. And I could just bite them and spit them at the audience.
Yeah, anyway. That's pretty cool. That's pretty metal.
Okay,
man.
So here's the irony of the whole guitar thing. And I usually never talk about this. I should let Randy Smith talk about this, who owned Mesa Boogie. He just sold it recently, but the originator of Mesa Boogie amps, who did the Mesa Boogie amps through the whole universe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was making this. I wanted to make the most monster guitar setup ever seen by humans.
Wow.
That was my idea. I would have this fucking flied covered guitar meat, and I would have an amp that was the loudest thing anyone had heard in their life. That was my idea.
That's so cool.
And so I know it's stupid, but but it was my idea. And so, what was I going to tell you about it? Oh fuck, I forgot.
Randy, you mentioned Randy.
Oh, Randy. Okay, so right at that time, Crown amplifiers were invented, and they came out on the market, Crown amplifiers, and they think it had a DC 300, and it was a 300-watt amp, which seemed like a lot at the time to everybody. Big solid-state, clunky, giant-ass thing. And so my idea was I would get Randy to build me these tube preamps, so I would have that tube guitar sound, but those would go into these solid-state, gynocerous things, so I would have the loudest setup in the world, but yet the cool tone, right?
That's cool, yeah.
So we rented Winterland, and we took all the shit to Winterland, and we set it all up.
Wow.
And Randy came, and
awesome.
And we plug it in and it wouldn't drive. The preamp didn't have enough gain
Oh, okay, yeah.
to drive the crowns.
Wow, okay.
Like there wasn't enough output to drive the crowns. And we were going, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So me being a little hot rodder rhymer goes, what if we can you put one into the other and put one after the other?
Okay.
And then you will get maybe we'll get more out of it. So he goes, yeah. So he makes a thing and puts one after another, and just fucking blew the lid off the whole thing. But that one after another thing, that became the whole basis for what made Mesa Boogie so amazingly popular.
Wow.
Was the dual gain stage where you had the two gains.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was where that occurred, right there with the world's worst guitar player.
That's amazing.
It's so ironic that the world's worst guitar player would have a tiny little thing to do with the most innovative thing that happened to guitar amps in history.
That is legendary, man.
Like the stuff Randy did, that was the most innovative guitar stuff in history. Ever since then, every manufacturer has copied Randy forever.
That is
and I had a small little. I was there, man. I was part of the creation of that.
Wow.
That's a story that Randy's told many times, and he should really tell it. I shouldn't tell it. That's his story.
We should have him on the show.
Yeah. We were down at Randy's house just recently for the Mesa Boogie blowout.
Okay.
Anyway, that's the story. How ironic that the world's worst guitar player would have a little tiny bit to do with the dual gain stage that's so incredibly important in all amazing. Guitar amps. Anyway, there I was. I was there. That was somewhere.
Well, I think that fact alone bumps you up a couple notches.
Yeah, I was there. That was somewhere. I was a kid. I did what I did. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one last thing to say before we go, everybody.
All right.
You know those things on YouTube called shorts?
Yeah, YouTube shorts. Yep.
So I like to watch YouTube shorts where the bully gets knocked out or the dog bites somebody in the nuts.
Yeah, those are so addicting. They go on and on.
So crazy. Here comes a dog bites somebody in the nuts. Yeah, we trained this dog. He's a ball biter. We train him from a puppy. We train him to bite the balls. We wear a cup and some armor shit in it. So anyway, I watch these things are great. All of a sudden I see one of Ted Nugent the other day. A little short of Ted Nugent. I go, what the fuck is Ted Nugent making shorts for? And then the short is about he's down on Taylor Swift.
Okay. What's he saying
acting
now?
like she's a fake and a phony. And,
Great.
And so then he starts going on this whole rant about there's no stuff. And he starts naming all these guitar players that used to play all these hot licks. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's acting like, there's nothing like the 60s and that era because of all these great guitar players. We don't see any people playing like that anymore, and you don't see that. And I think, all those licks were already played, man. It's like, what is everybody? People now, they look at shit and they go, oh, yeah, not another hot lick. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Not another guitar solo. That's like saying, oh, fuck, not another drum solo. So anyway, Ted, I have to disagree with you respectfully. I think you should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think those guys are fuckheads for not putting Ted Nugent in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He deserves to be there, and for political reasons, they don't put him in.
Oh, wow.
And that's so wrong, because Ted Nugent he's a real deal, like him or hate him, he's a rock and roll guy. He deserves to be in there. He does. Right. Ted Nugent? Huh. How can you have a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and no Ted Nugent?
Right.
That cheapens the whole deal. It discounts the validity of the whole thing when you try to exclude somebody like Ted for political reasons.
Sure.
And I don't agree with his politics.
Yeah.
But fuck, he has a right to his opinion.
Sure, yeah.
He shouldn't be ostracized. But let me go back to Taylor Swift. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. He's talking about how she's like just phony and the music sounds like crap, and that isn't the exact words he used, but he was pretty explicit, as he always is.
Right.
And I was thinking, Ted, here's my suggestion: you go to the Tiny Desk concert. You know Tiny Desk?
Oh concerts? Yeah, Tiny Desk. Yep.
Taylor Swift was on a Tiny Desk concert a couple of years ago or a year ago, whenever it was. And if you watch that show, if you don't come away from there thinking she's the real deal, there's something wrong with you, man. She talks about as a kid playing till her fingers bled, writing songs. And anybody that's played guitar and really been so into it, they've played till their fingers bled.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody's done that. So she's a little songwriting girl. If you don't like her music, that's okay. Maybe she doesn't like your music, Ted.
Right.
But to discount her as an artist and act like, oh, she just writes pop songs. She's a fucking great songwriter. whether you like her music or not, man. She
I agree.
writes fucking meaningful songs
Absolutely.
that resonate with millions of people. I happen to like her music. I have a number of her songs in my iTunes collection.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, she's very talented. She's dedicated. And so what if she's so famous and so what if she says weird stuff or has opinions? So fucking what?
Right.
She's a gifted individual who works her ass off, and she's tried really hard, and she writes great songs, you know. And so what if she and I see people comment about how she's starting to mimic herself. She's still writing the same stuff. Well, so fucking what? I mean, you know.
I think she's shown some evolution throughout the career.
Yeah,
you know,
I do too.
Yeah.
And, you know, she writes about how she's feeling at the current time, about her current breakups, her current loves, whatever. And they're criticizing her for that. Like, oh, she's writing about the same shit again. And life goes on. Life's the same. You go through things over and over. You meet people, you break up, you whatever.
Right.
Anyway, her songs are real. Her songs are honest.
Yeah.
And she's a real deal. She's a real gifted artist with an amazing work ethic. Everything about her is the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So,
Excellent.
Ted, when I see you on YouTube Shorts and you're spouting off stuff like that, I think, man, dude. Oh, and the other thing, you know, all the guitar licks, they're not the currency they used to be. There's no guitar gods anymore. That's what you're really bummed out about, huh, Ted? You guys aren't gods anymore to anybody. No more guitar god. No more. I can't be God anymore. That's right, man. You know, no more guitar gods. There's guys that play hot licks, but it's like guys that play hot drum solos. It's not the currency of the current universe.
Yeah, true.
It used to be the only currency. The guitar players were like fucking gunslingers. They swaggered and they were walking into town slinging their guns.
Yeah, that's right.
Guitar players, what, another lick? Play us another hot lick. Yeah, okay. But by the way, I wish I was a good guitar player, which I'm not. I'll end the whole thing. You know, I can talk about guitar players and make all my little comments. I would love to be a good guitar player. I've been trying for 50 fucking years. I am fucking bad.
I could show you how to tune. We could start there.
No, I'm too old to learn. And I got my little electronic tuner. It works perfectly.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And my guitar, I love my guitar.
Cool, yeah. I've seen that Rain song, yeah. It's a good
I love my keyboard too. And how long have we been doing this?
We're approaching, we're almost at a half hour.
Okay, we're going to stop. I was going to tell you what I hate and love about my organ. Next time we'll do that.
Cool, yeah.
Okay,
sounds
thank you guys for your comments. I should get an award for being the worst guitar player. So kind of the worst guitar. You know how they have those awards for the worst of the worst?
Right.
I could like aspire to that. Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Whatever happened to that fly guitar with the Gill guitar?
I don't know. I sold it.
Sold it? Okay.
Somebody ripped the meat off it and the flies off it and refinished it and sold it.
Yeah.
Guitars, you know.
Right.
Plus Gill guitars. Nobody gave a shit about a Gill guitar that looked like an SG. It was a guitar they made for a short time.
Okay.
But I determined it had the loudest pickups because we had a music store, so we tested all these things.
Yeah.
You go, oh, this guitar is super loud. And being my moron self, I just thought, I just want the loudest shit in the world. And so I was building these monster amps, and Randy was helping me, and I was trying to like be Godzilla. I tried to be Godzilla, but I failed, man. I just a failure guitar player. Thank you though for Galaxy Rover. Thank you for pointing that out, because I forgot. Sometimes you forget about the little details. That was a great thing, and you don't have to be sorry, man. It's like when somebody tells me they hate my voice, and I go, yeah, me too. You know, so what? Everybody hates their voice. Everybody hates looking at themselves on a picture. That's life, man. Okay. We're out of here. Dylan, you didn't get a chance to talk much today.
That's right. This was a fun one. I liked today. It was great hearing those stories, yeah.
I almost recognize you.
Yeah. Takes some getting used to, for sure.
Yeah, look at you, man. How funny. Have to send your mom a picture of yourself. Remember me? Would she remember? Would she know? She would know. Of course. Okay, we're going to get out of here. Big Kitty's been well behaved today. He's not biting.
Yeah.
He looks good here sitting in the table.
Oh, he's great. He's hilarious. He fell right to sleep.
You're such a funny boy today. Why are you so cool? How come you're not biting? It must be the moon. I swear to God, the moon affects everything. Anyway, let's get out of here before the moon takes control of the universe. Right. Okay, Dylan.
Good to see
I'll
you.
see you tomorrow.
Yep, sounds great.
Humanity, everybody out there, all our multiple people. I hope you guys are all having fun. We're having fun. I don't know why I enjoy doing this so much. But it's fun, right?
Yeah,
Everybody's
me too.
having fun. We're
Yeah.
having fun.
Oh, I love it.
Tell your friends. Tell your friends to click on the subscribe button. Tell them to subscribe because that would help me.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Maybe I'll, yeah, and yeah, tell them to subscribe. And you guys can all press the like button because when you press the like button, it tells the algorithm that somebody liked it.
Yeah, we'd greatly appreciate that.
So, I'm not against lying. So if you didn't like it, it doesn't matter. Press like anyway. Do us a favor. That's all we ask. Press like, subscribe.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm a fortune teller on the boardwalk. I got to go out there today. Blow your nose. I'll read your snot. Anyway, everybody, I'll see you later. Have fun, everybody. Fuck, I love today. Today is great.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, poof.